Hello class, today we're going to learn about the Mayflower. Well, on our virtual field trip, we're going to look at three main aspects. The first one, the ocean crossing, second, Mayflower compact, and three, ship and ship conditions. Our first stop is in Plymouth, England. So we're going to come over here and click at Mayflower Crossing Start. And while we're traveling there, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history. The Separatist church congregation that established Plymouth Colony in New England left to escape religious oppression. Because they refused to follow the Church of England's teaching, some of them were harassed, fined, or even sent to jail. When they felt that they could no longer suffer these difficulties in England, they chose to flee. They lived in a couple places before they decided that the new land would be the best place to relocate. The entire congregation could not come to America together, but those who were able to get their affairs in order were able to travel. The congregation purchased a small ship, Speedwell, to transport them across the sea and to use for fishing and trading in America. At Southampton, a port in England, they were joined by a group of English colonists who had been gathered by the investors. Speedwell and Mayflower, a ship rented by the investors, departed for America together. On August 15th, both ships set sail for America. The Speedwell leaked so badly that both ships turned back to England, putting in first at Dartmouth and then at Plymouth. Finally, on September 16th, 1620, the Mayflower set sail out along with 102 passengers for America. But let's look at our clip here. Right on your screen right here, we have a map of the route that they took. How far was this route, you ask? Let's look. Over here, if we click on Ocean Crossing and zoom way out, we can see a bigger version of this map across the world. So how far exactly was their trip? Well, we have the two routes, the planned route, which is the bolded line, and the actual route, which is the dotted line. So we're going to come up here to our ruler, and we're first going to measure out our planned route. So our planned route, we're going to do our path, do a little dot here, and kind of go across this line to figure out a basic distance about how far this might have been. So we look over here, so that's about 3,600 miles. So let's keep 3,600 miles in our mind. We're going to clear this one. How about the actual route? So we're going to go back over starting at Plymouth. All the way to Plymouth in North America, and that's about 3,300 miles. So 3,300 versus 36, so it's a little bit shorter, but I wonder why that the colonists had such a different route. If you see that the route was curved right here, but in this one they went up, landed over here, and then went back down here. So we're going to go ahead and clear this out. Exit that and get rid of the ocean crossing and get back all the way to our starting point. And to figure out why their path was so different, we're going to go back to our clip and read this article. Mayflower and the Gulf Stream. So while that's loading, give it another 10 seconds. Brings up the map. So I want you to go ahead and read this. This is the map we had up there, so just remember the map, and as you read, I want you to think about how the Gulf Stream and the weather in the Atlantic affected the Mayflower's crossing. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple seconds to read that. As we read in this first couple sentences, it says the strong Atlantic Gulf Stream delayed their voyage, and the weather patterns made it dangerous to cross. So in addition to it being a little bit dangerous and the currents delayed it, it also pushed them a little bit off of course because of the strong currents, the fasting water, and it slowed them in the areas where they thought they were going to be fast, so it just kind of altered their current. So we're going to look back at our map up here, scrolling up. So when the Pilgrims set out, they intended to establish a farming village in the northern part of the Virginia colony. This would be near present-day New York City. Here they could live under English government and worship in the way they wished without persecution. Because they didn't have enough money to establish their village, they entered into agreement with the financial investors. The company of the investors would provide tools, clothing, and other supplies the colonists would need, in turn for them to go to America and send natural resources such as fish, timber, and furs back to England. So now we're going to exit out of the screen and go back to our Google Earth. We're going to look a little bit else at the resources we have here. So we're going to scroll in and over, and we have this length of a webcam. Before the Pilgrims left, they obviously checked the weather, looked at what they had, and so this is a view of a modern day view of what type of weather that the Pilgrims might have experienced on the bay that they left from. So let's review. Where was the Mayflower supposed to land in North America? That's right, near present-day New York City. And where did it actually land? Right again, Plymouth.